Good evening and welcome to a brand new episode of Bahrain Now, where we host different initiatives, talents, and events. I'm Bara Abdallah, and this is Bahrain Now. Marking National Day, which was held last week, Isa Cultural Center has organized an event under the name Our National Songs, hosted by Ms. Sabina and Mr. Mahmoud Al Yusuf, the writers of the book Hazawi Al Awwal, which actually means Our Old Tales. Tonight, we welcome the writers of the book to talk to us more about the event. Well, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Thank you so much for being here today, as we had an exciting time behind the scenes, and now it's time to bring it live to the camera and to Bahrain. So, starting with the virtual event, let's hear more about it.
The virtual event was hosted by the Isa Cultural Center. Isa Cultural Center is always renowned for bringing these things together, being the host of the two national libraries, the Children's Library as well as the main library. And the authorities there thought that our book was worthy of being recognized.
Beautiful.
And specifically wanting to bring it to life and put it in front of the people who we intend for the book itself. And of course, our audience, specifically for Hazawi Al Awwal,
Yes.
is children from 18 months to 4 years old, but goes even beyond that as well. The event itself took place virtually, of course, and we had many people attend. We was really thrilled to have that occasion, and even more thrilled to have the interaction of the children singing the songs to us and recognizing some of our efforts that we have put together into this small book.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So, tell us more about the book, actually.
Yeah. So, this is a sound book, actually.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're sound book. If you're familiar with it, you open the book, and then you will press a button, and then a song will appear. So, and the basic idea for the book came actually as I'm a mother of two, and
beautiful.
I brought some. I'm from Germany, and in Germany we have lots of sound books like that. And I brought some of the books back to Bahrain when I visited Germany for my kids, and it was just amazing. They took the books, pressed the button all the time, and they didn't want to put the book back in the bookshelf. And I was thinking, does something like this exist here in Bahrain, actually?
Very interesting.
And I did a little bit of research, and I couldn't find a single book that features traditional songs.
That's very true, man. I don't remember even.
Yeah.
Nothing like this. And I was thinking, I want to do something, put the songs together, but is this really worthwhile, this idea? And then I came to Mahmoud, and since he has an award-winning video production company, he has lots of experience, and he's a local Bahraini.
Yes, sir.
So I asked him for his opinion. What do you think? Those are the books from Germany, and can we do something like this together?
Don't do it! Don't do it! Forget about it!
Don't you put your money into this.
Yeah, and then we discussed the idea back and forth, and how can we do that? And he got excited too about this project because it's all about the culture here. And
it's beautiful.
Then finally he said, let's do it together.
It's beautiful. I mean, at a time where, TikTok is taking over, YouTube videos, and audiobooks. So you actually thought that, we bring, let's say, German methodologies into Bahrain, where we bring Bahrain's culture into a book. So when that started, did you feel like there's going to be some challenges, especially going to a digital world?
Well, there are many, many challenges, but we're not here to replace any of the technologies. We're not here competing with any of the technology. We recognize that apps are available, television, radio, all that sort of thing, fine. But our idea was to actually make it a bit more tactile.
Right.
Children would be a lot more involved if they actually touch something.
That's so true.
And our idea is if they touch the paper and they open a book, we will imbue in them not just having a book in their library, but also the love of reading. We wanted them to start that. That's number one mission of our company.
So true.
And then we said, okay, let's make it more interesting. How can we make it more interesting for them to get them more interactive? And was two things. One is in putting a screen in there, which defeats the purpose. But the other thing,
so like a book and a screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get an iPad.
So exactly. So what we did is actually just go a little bit less than that and make it a lot more something with much more longevity. Is putting a cultural story in there.
Beautiful.
And then every single page has a button in it. And then when you press the button, you hear the specific song for that story. You know, then who doesn't know this?
Yeah.
And I know people like, for instance, Sabina's children being German as their mother tongue now actually know Arabic because
oh my God, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they press the book, they press the buttons all the time, and now they are starting to sing the songs in Arabic.
Beautiful.
And yeah.
So it's not just the language; it's the love of language, love of culture, and you know, culture is so important for any society.
True.
Culture is so important for any human existence.
The identity,
because culture to us, when we thought about it, it's like a mother's embrace. It's something that you continue to go back to, something that is comfortable, because with that it will give you the identity that you require.
True.
In order for you to feel that sense of belonging. Okay, and without that, then you just have nothing. Then you can be, belong to any country in the world. Bahrain specifically, having a rich history, a rich culture, spanning millennia. We thought that we will take just a few of the things that we know about and put it into a book to test the market. And this is our first project as the prototype that we're bringing out together.
Beautiful.
And we are thrilled that we have such a very, response has been beyond our dreams, really.
I can only imagine. Because I think, if I'm going to go a little bit personal from my side right now, as my kids and a lot of people's kids right now, they're into Fortnite, right? They're watching YouTube influencers, TikTok videos, and nonstop of that. As our generation, I would say we were heavily involved in books, magazines, and I think it was an international thing. We used to write.
Yes.
There's a pen and it's a paper. We used to write.
Yes.
And it was, like you said, the touching base, the physicality of things, and longevity.
Yes.
And the colors that you can see out of a book is just different than the thing you would see out of a screen. So seeing that, I guess right now we're going back to that to appreciate how beautiful books are, and you're putting things together. It's just beautiful. I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome. But the thing is, we have to thank the people who actually have made this possible as well. That's like we worked very, very hard on this for over a year to get it together.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And the one person that helped us a lot was that as a teacher in Zubaydah Primary School in Muharraq, Nabila Ghaloom, who is a fantastic visionary and actually teaches her children music and teaches them the old analogies and dances that we did in Bahrain.
Dances, amazing.
So she, with the help of the headmistress as well, Mrs. Bouzaboun, they invited us to come in to actually watch some of the performances, and we fell in love with the school, with the ethos that they provided, with the children as well, and they were good enough to propose 5 young girls from the primary school who dressed in national clothes and performed all these songs live to us.
So these were recorded by their voices?
These are their voices.
No way.
Yeah. So I took my crew, we set up the cameras, we filmed them, we recorded their sounds, and we just basically multi-purposed every single thing that we got out of that session. And this book would not have happened without the girls, the 5 girls that actually danced.
Oh, well, thank you, girls.
Yeah, and they're actually available now. You buy the book. It's available on Instagram and things like that, but if you scan the QR code, then you will be able to actually watch the girls, the videos themselves.
Oh, they're famous now.
Yes,
they autographs and stuff.
Yeah, as they should be, because they did something that is quite nice, and the school helped us quite a lot with that as well.
So, Ms. Sabina, I would like to ask you now regarding your interest in the Bahraini culture. Going back to Germany, seeing what's happening over there, and you want to bring it to Bahrain, what really sparked that?
I've been here now for 11 years, and yes, it's been a while. And this is my second home. I just love this culture. I love the Bahraini people. It's just, I want to have my children growing up with this kind of culture too. I want to, see them discovering this culture, learning songs, learning the culture, and it's my second home. What can I say?
Beautiful. You're gonna make me cry right now. Let's just breathe for a second. 11 years. That's just you're Bahraini. That's it.
I wish. Kind of.
It's beautiful. How about your kids? How do they feel about Bahrain?
It's their home. It's they know, grandparents are in Germany and everything, but that's where they they are growing up, and they even learn Arabic now in school, which is amazing, and I learn with them.
Yeah, that's how it is.
This is how it is, and they have Bahraini friends. This multiculti here in Bahrain is just amazing. There is no place like Bahrain, I can tell you. It's
the diversity over here, yeah.
It is,
it's pretty rich, I'll have to say that.
Yes.
Amazing, it's beautiful. And sharing your knowledge, sharing your initiativities, I want to say thank you so much. Seriously, thank you so much. Now with that all, you know, before we cry, tell us like anything we should be looking forward to. Like, you know, the Isa Cultural Center has a lot going on when it comes to education and entertainment. So anything we should be looking forward to?
We don't have any specific plans yet to go forward. We're actually going day by day and trying to get as much reach as possible with the book. And of course, the bigger mission, which is getting people and children in Bahrain recognizing that we actually do have a culture here. The culture doesn't stop with Gargaon and Hamama Nudi Nudi, but we have a whole treasure box of diving songs, for instance, that we haven't even approached. We have a treasure trove of the old stories that our grandmothers still try to tell to children who are not listening anymore.
Right.
But we're trying to bring them all together, so we're focusing our energy onto authoring and categorizing these aspects. But we don't forget that we will continue to go out in the community. We will continue to go out to schools.
Right.
One school we've been involved in now is Kano, Abdurrahman Kano International School, where the leaders there, headed by Dr. Julie Sprackle, actually created a whole event around the book. And quite a number of students and parents bought the book and took it home with them, and hopefully will get it, you know, interested with it. The other one is Al Fawz Nursery in Al Hid, where they brought a Bahraini old woman to read the stories and sing with the children as well.
Beautiful.
We'd like to do more and more of these applications, but we're open to suggestions, we're open to invitations, and our mission here is to imbue the love of culture into everybody in Bahrain, citizens and residents, to get them to appreciate where we are. And we're a small country, but we have a big impact.
It's beautiful.
And this is what we want to go forward with.
Let me ask you, I mean, like, now, several songs, right, and cultural values. What are the top three that you would think every Bahraini would know? I would think Hamama Nudi Nudi, Gargaon, but in your perspective, in Bahrain's history, what is the top three? What are the top three?
I think these two that you mentioned are definitely there, but they're also Swera.
Swera.
I don't know if you've heard it before.
Can we play it?
Sure.
Just refresh my memory. Oh, you know it. Oh, wow. Someone for me being a Bahrain. Okay.
So let's play Swera.
Let's play Swera, yes. Yes.
So you have heard the song.
Wow.
Yeah.
Same rhythm of Hamama Nudi Nudi, right?
Something like that, a little bit different. But for those who don't know the words, we actually offer a trick so that parents become knowledgeable in front of their children.
Oh,
and
the lyrics.
All of the lyrics are actually presented in the book.
Yes.
So you can actually go ahead and read them as well and sing them along with your children. So if you anything that's not clear, everything is presented here.
Habash Labash.
Yes.
The tongue twister.
Exactly, yeah.
I can't even say it yet. So we have here 5 songs.
Yes.
Now, do you think like maybe you're going to have part 2 or 3 for other songs, maybe a little bit more adultish, I would say?
No, we don't want to get involved in the adult world whatsoever.
Okay.
At the moment, anyway.
This is beautiful for now.
We want to concentrate on where, you know, we see growth of ideas and we shape minds.
Smart.
Okay, we want to go with our children, because if we don't educate them, get them to know our culture a little bit, touch the book, then the future is lost.
That's true.
Very true. Very true. And it's like, if I would just ask you a little bit more personal about this. Now, do you think like this book can actually go international? You know, as we spread around, like, you know,
For sure.
like introduced to the German culture, I would say, maybe the Asian culture, the American culture. Do you think they can actually tap into that?
We need help. We need help. We have gone quite we've done quite a lot of things. It's actually an international standard book. We have a full ISBN number.
Beautiful.
We actually registered it with the Ministry of Information here.
Yes.
But we cannot put this book at the moment on Amazon, for instance, to really take it international. And we need help in getting us to get that.
Okay.
And I think this is where the Ministry of Information might be able to help us get along, because they have the experts who could facilitate that advance. We need help also in actually putting it in bookshops in Bahrain. We can't do that because bookshops in Bahrain actually charge 50% of the revenue in order for them to just display the book, which is like, to me, it just doesn't make sense, because we didn't print this in order to make a profit. We printed this in order to make a profit for future generations.
Right.
So if you go to the local libraries here, or local bookshops rather, we cannot put them in because they would want to take 50% of the profit. The best deal that we got was 40%. It's just nonsensical. So we diverted our attention to sell that through Instagram and to YouTube and personal endeavors.
Right.
But we do need help, if that could be offered from the Ministry of Information or or Ministry of Culture, in order for us to go forward, because we do have a lot of ideas going forward, not just the children's songs, but the next book that we want to produce now are stories.
Stories.
Retold stories in voice as well, and in the characters that we've designed.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I would guess from here, any last words, to all the kids in Bahrain, maybe even the world? Miss Sabina?
Just get the book, enjoy the songs, and sing the songs. Sing it together with your parents, learn the songs, and watch the videos. Watch the video, the performance of the song. It's just fun.
They are.
And tell us as well if you have any kind of songs that you would like us to represent, or any kind of stories that you heard when you were young. This is for the older people as well. Let us know. You can get us on Instagram. I think maybe they will put it in the strap line. It's Hazawi Lawal. We look forward to hearing back from you. And so far, the response has been tremendous.
Exactly. What is your favorite song from your past? What you remember? From your childhood. What did your parents sing to you? This is very interesting for us. We really want to gather all of this. Want to know about that. Just let us know.
Thank you so much. I can only imagine just the future is going to be even more beautiful. Inshallah. I'm going to get a copy. I'm going to just memorize Suwaira. It's just like, it's like need to catch up with my own culture. So this is a good way to start with.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
having us.
Such a
blessing.
Thank you for having us.
Beautiful activity. And we're going to look forward to that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, do get a copy of Hazawi Lawal. All that happening here with Bahrain Now. Stay tuned for more.
The International Mixed Martial Arts Federation has recognized Bahrain's generosity and hosting abilities by recognizing the country during their end-of-year award ceremony with a special award for Best Host Nation. Having very limited amateur competitions held in 2020, Team Bahrain continued to achieve new heights during a difficult year for mixed martial arts, with the help of the fastest-growing mixed martial arts promotion. As Brave CF ensured the preservation and growth of young athletes from the MENA region, allowing fighters from the region to maintain their learning curve intact by allowing them to fight in during their events, and providing amateur athletes with extra exposure and experience.
The International Mixed Martial Arts Federation has recognized the Kingdom of Bahrain for its generosity and hosting abilities during the end-of-year award ceremony with a special award for the Best Host Nation. making Bahrain the only nation to receive this kind of recognition. Joining us in the studio is the president of Brave Combat Federation and the CEO of KHK Sports, Mohammed Shahid, to talk to us more about this amazing achievement. Good evening, sir.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure and pride. So tell us more about the EMF recognition.
I mean, it's something that is, I say that we have to congratulate the whole of Bahrain.
Yes, sir.
The people of Bahrain, everyone from the sports sector to the fans, of course, because without them, without the people that love the sports, we wouldn't have got this recognition. But to start with, I always tell people that it didn't happen because we put on a great event in Bahrain.
Right.
It all started when, with the vision of His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad, when he put a seed that the seed was planted in 2015.
Right.
Long before 2020 when we got the recognition. It was 5 years back when we started that. And that vision, I mean, you were there from the beginning, so you've seen everything that
amazing
happened. And the seed that we planted was to understand sports completely.
Right.
Not just through events, not just through teams, not just through regulatory bodies. So His Highness started building KHK MMA, which was one of the strongest teams in the world. We had today BBC's Sports World Award winner Khabib Nurmagomedov was a part of that team. Frankie Edgar, the legend of US mixed martial art, was a part of that team. And we had best fighters from every country come and be a part of the team. But we also did one of the strongest regulatory bodies in combat sports here in Bahrain with Bahrain Mixed Martial Art Federation. And the other side was with the team, with the regulatory body, one thing that was missing was our own sports media property.
Right.
And that is where His Highness decided to create Brave Combat Federation. And with Brave Combat Federation, the regulatory body and a team that is strong enough to become the #1 team in the world ranking today.
Yes, sir.
We were ready to bring in international events that could compete with any international competition that's out there. And that's where we partnered with the International Mixed Martial Art Federation.
Yes.
While they were hosting the World Championship in Vegas, the mecca of combat sports, we decided to say that we could turn that around in the next 3 years and make a new hub of mixed martial art in the world.
And that was crazy.
100% to take that decision and say that from Vegas, from Las Vegas, to take an event and bring it to Bahrain and to win that award, I mean, that's where it gets special. When we talk about how special that award is, not just because this is the first host nation award in sports we have won. It's not just about that. It's about taking it away from the mecca of combat sports, bringing it to Bahrain. That shows the caliber of hosting events in Bahrain, that talks about the team in Bahrain, but even more interesting, it talks about the vision and how that implemented in 5 years' time, and we can take that same structure and implement it in every other sport, and we'll be still achieving that award every year that's coming up.
It's amazing. I still remember back in 2015 as you did the tryouts for KHK at in the East of Town Sports Center over there, and bringing like crazy fighters from around Bahrain, and the finale from can you remember the fighters that we had?
Francis Ngannou.
Yes.
He was today the biggest heavyweight star in the world for mixed martial art, and he started his climb to that ladder from Bahrain at the KHK National Tryout along with us, and he still remembers that.
I mean, I even remember like when he just said something very
You were recalling those fights?
I remember. It was pretty much
beginning.
intense, of my first MMA experience, I would say. Going inside the cage, holding the mic and just calling out all the fights was just a beautiful experience. Not only for me, but for all the attendees. The vibes, the energy, it was unbelievable. 100%. So when we started KHK Esports and sports and all that, that started off, and that was like the beginning for His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad's vision to Brave?
Oh yeah, the KHK was the first step for building that sports industry as a whole. So if you touch one part of sports, any sport you take, if you touch one area of it, it's not going to be successful. You can either have a team, you could either focus on the regulatory body, which is the federation, or you could focus on bringing international events, which is a lot of expense financially if you think about it.
It is.
But when you combine all together and try to excel in every area of that sport, one complements the other, you have revenue to the sports media property that will be re-injected into the finance to bring in big international events and hosting big international events. And then the federation is there empowering it through having to regulate a sports media property that is there, that is earning revenue, which will empower the sport itself. So all together, it's like a, what do you call it? It's a circular reaction in sports that completes each other. And that's what His Highness's vision was about mixed martial art. It was a young sport. It was not really known in the region at all. And His Highness today started Brave Combat Federation, KHK MMA, and a strong federation with Bahrain Mixed Martial Federation. If you look at it today, 2020 and 2019, not just Bahrain, the whole Gulf has adopted combat sports as the biggest sporting events.
We saw that. We saw that. I mean, thing is, and I keep hearing the word, the sports media property, right? As I've been telling everybody that how Brave is what I always dream to see. In the sense, not only always as sports and MMA, but how is that you create a media platform, creating 100%. Content, 100%. Building stories like Hamza Al-Kohaji. You know, I just see guys like what makes all the sports so famous. Like, for example, soccer, right? You know, the players, NBA, sure. Michael Jordan, you know, your drivers in the F1. Now, when it comes to MMA, the implementation of Brave, I thought was brilliant. So was that pretty much a template you saw that you want to use, or you actually brought your own formula?
Oh yeah, it was always a study from what is actually existing and putting that together to create a new formula that is going to start from where mixed martial art is today and take it forward. And this is not my words, this is words of His Highness, who always tells us that that's where you, if you want to get better, if you want to take it to the next step, start from where the sport has stopped today and take it upwards. That's the only way you can be successful. So for the Brave Combat Federation, like you said, it is the biggest startup in Bahrain today. It is the largest sports media property in Asia. It is the fastest growing mixed martial art promotion in the world. We create 400 hours of content per year, which is amazing for us to even think about it. But we also have over 300 athletes today from around the world. We have traveled to 20 countries and 5 different continents in 4 years. So it's been a long ride. It's been a great journey, but it's something that we think is just the beginning. The years to come is going to be something much more bigger than what we've seen in the past 4 years.
Just the beginning.
100%.
Amazing. I still remember like 2015, like when all that started, and then you was like, okay, how we can take this? And now today it's like we just started.
True. I mean, definitely, this was phase one, right? You had to, whatever you introduce, you have to make people familiar with it. You are not a voice yet to speak out loud to introduce a change. So you're not ready to introduce a change. First of all, if you introduce change, they're going to look at you and say, who are you to introduce change? You know? So the first 4 years was to go out there in the industry. And if you look at the mixed martial art industry, I don't know, many people don't know that the third largest fan base in sports is in mixed martial art. After soccer, after basketball, it's mixed martial art. And not all of combat sport, just mixed martial art. Imagine you combine the combat sports, it's bigger than football if you look at the fan base. So being the third largest fan base in sports industry, multi-billion-dollar industry, you can't enter there with a new idea and say this is going to change the mixed martial art industry and you're going to bring something new. So the first 4 years, His Highness's vision was to establish a strong platform and infrastructure here in Bahrain, and we saw the result in 4 years. Bahrain's national team of mixed martial art is the #1 ranked mixed martial art team in the whole world ranking.
It is.
We got the host nation by the International Mixed Martial Art Federation that we've never been recognized before, or any other country has been recognized before in mixed martial art for under IMMAF. And the Brave Combat Federation is the fastest growing sport in the world. So everything had its success in just 4 years. Now is the time to go out there and say, let me introduce to you a change in the sport of mixed martial art. We're going to talk about the fastest growing sport in the world, the third largest fan base in the world, and you're going to bring it into a new era of introducing it to a sports model that is the most familiar, which is the franchise model. And this is what Brave's future is. That is why 2021, we call it the year of change.
Let's go.
And everybody's like, you're going to change? I said, no, we're going to introduce change. We're going to educate change. And we've already become a voice. We've traveled to all the countries. No other promotion other than Ultimate Fighting Championship and Brave Combat Federation has traveled to 5 different continents and 20 different countries. And even UFC, the biggest promotion in the world, has not done that in the first 4 years. Nobody has done that. So we are officially the fastest growing promotion. The key for all the viewers, your fans behind now, everybody who's watching, the key to understand is that this is a Bahraini product. This is founded by His Highness Sheikh Khalid. The whole world talks about Brave Combat Federation. Every athlete around the world, thousands of athletes became a part of Brave, got supported by Brave, are looking forward to fighting in Brave and get their life changed. And this is a Bahraini product. This is a Bahraini startup. And this is where we get proud. This is where we feel like we have to thank everybody involved to help us build this. Not just the event that we was holding in Bahrain, which was, by the way, the Brave International Combat Week, was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, of course was. I mean, that was amazing.
It was a festival.
I mean, I can tell the excitement in your voice. It's 100%. like you can talk about this for hours, non-stop. So if this was just a start, and next year is going to be the year, let's say, of change. So where are we heading with all of this?
We're trying to introduce something that's so the thing what we're doing is we're introducing the unknown to the sport of mixed martial art. Because it's a young sport, it is the fastest growing sport in the world. we're trying to introduce this sport and say that there is a big change that mixed martial art can have and take it to the next level. I'm talking at a global level right now. So Brave is going to introduce mixed martial art into a new era where we have seen combat sports always about athletes, always about stars, but never really about similarities like football. So what I mean by that is, to put it in a simple way, can we have a Lionel Messi in combat sports? This is the question we should ask. A guy who doesn't speak English, who's not marketable, who doesn't trash talk, who's not exciting outside the fight. All that matters is talent. If you have talent, you can be the greatest. I mean, that is not there in mixed martial art. You have to be a Muhammad Ali, you have to be a Mike Tyson or a Conor McGregor to be a superstar in combat sports. And that's because of the system of combat sports. And we are trying to change that system at a global level to create a FIFA, to create the Champions Leagues, the continental federations, under which you have Premier Leagues, Bundesligas, Serie A's around the world, and create a global infrastructure that controls the sport under one umbrella, similar to what we have done in Bahrain. You see the small little structure umbrella that we created from each and different areas, from the federation regulatory body. We're going to do that at a global level. And that cannot happen alone. It requires a partnership with different federations around the world, with the international federation. So if you look at our partnership with the international federation, we have given them the best event in the world. They have given us the recognition. Our relationship with national federations and with the promotions around the world, we have done 20 events in 20 countries. We've done events in 5 different continents. So our strong relationship with the federations and the co-promotions are unlike any other promotion that's out there. Now it's time to build that umbrella around them. We will, again, in the next 5 years, we will create that structure. But it's only in the next 50 years, people will look at it and see one of the greatest sports, the biggest sport in the world, that's going to be mixed martial art, and they're going to look back and say there was that one day that somebody decided to make that change. And that's when Khalid bin Hamid's name is going to be out there and say what KHK has done, what His Highness has, what his vision truly shows.
Sir, I just like to tap on something else as well. To know as what Mohammed Shahid is really, that how you started as an MMA fighter, you know, is like walking around and building a dream in what you became today, along with the vision of His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamid and Brave. I just want to say we're so proud of you and everything, and proud of the team of Brave and KHK. So it's like how we are going to take all this to international levels. Like everybody says, you know, think big but act locally. You thought globally and you acted locally and globally at the same time, and you just went like with a bang, and you just not gonna stop. So I just want to say, the future of Bahrain is here right now. It's happening. KHK is definitely happening. So any last words to not only the viewers in Bahrain, but to the world with Brave and KHK?
I think for all the Bahraini people that's watching the show as well, for everyone in Bahrain, one thing I want to tell them is that support Brave Combat Federation, understand this vision, not just as a sport. You might really not like combat sports. You don't have to, but it's not for everyone. But in the end of the day, think of it, this is an inspiration for everyone that's out there. For myself as well, like you mentioned, you could create an idea in Bahrain and the rest of the world will want to import it to their countries. And this is what we did with Brave, and we can have thousands more in Bahrain. But for all the youth that's out there who are looking to be Hamza Kohijis and Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedovs in the future, I tell them one thing, that today you don't have to worry like how I worried 10 years back, where I didn't know how to start, where to go. Today, you just need to work hard, train hard, and be the best athlete. And if you have the talent, you have the greatest infrastructure in any country around the world, here in Bahrain, from your local federations all the way to Brave Combat Federation. So be brave.
Be brave and blessed, that's for sure. Thank you so much, CEO and President Mohammed Shahid. Thank you so much for being with us here on Bahrain Now. So ladies and gentlemen, support Brave and KHK as Bahrain is global and heading to the global stages altogether here in the name of mixed martial arts and Bahrain. Stay tuned for more here on Bahrain Now. The Global Student Entrepreneur Awards, GSEA, on the 9th of January 2021, a premier global competition for students who own and operate a business while attending college or university. The nominees will compete against their peers from around the world in a series of local or national competitions in hopes to qualify for the finals. And to talk to us more about it is Mr. Safa Sharif, the EO board member. Sir, well, good evening.
Good evening to you.
So tell us more about the program.
Just a bit of correction.
Yes.
The Bahrainis are lucky because they're gonna compete on the 9th of January, and they're gonna compete with Americans or Canadians who are going through layers of competitions until they select one guy from 400 million.
That's
Bahrain
a beautiful correction.
Yeah. So the Bahrainis are lucky for that.
Yes,
we're competing with the representative of China, representative of the United States, South Africa, and 60 countries from around the world. 60. Yeah. We managed to book a good seat for Bahrain for that for the past 4 years.
So how did we manage to do that?
Bahrainis.
Simple as that. We're that good. Yeah. So tell us more about the competition.
So, a bit of background about the organization itself.
Yes.
So the organization organizing this competition is called the Entrepreneurs Organization. Established in 1987. With the main objective of helping entrepreneurs reach their full potential.
All right.
We have an ambition. Our ambition is enabling transformational growth in the lives of entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And we have a segment of entrepreneurs that we focus on. We focus on scaled up entrepreneurs.
All right.
And our criteria for the membership is having an entrepreneur who's done more than $1 million of turnover.
Amazing.
And he has at least 5 employees, and he's a controlling shareholder. So he's not going to be fired. The first thing we ask him is that, can anybody fire you or not? Okay, so if nobody can fire you, then you're a controlling shareholder, then you qualify.
Wow.
And the organization is based on bringing entrepreneurs together and filling the gap of knowledge and learning for them.
Okay.
Usually, when you are an entrepreneur, self-employed, you're lonely. Nobody takes care of your education, of your next learning. So you took care of that, and took care of that in a very nice way over the past 30 years. So a segment that we always were curious about is students who are studying and have that interest and have that let's say potential of becoming very cool, good entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So we started this competition 10 years back.
All right.
And what's our criteria is that we look for entrepreneurs, a student who is in university, with a student who has started a business, operated it for at least 6 months. We're not very strict of having a CR and so on.
Okay.
And we only need a proof that he's sold something for at least $200 BD, $500. Yeah.
All right.
And we've been doing it for the past 4 years for Bahrain.
Okay.
And what we do is that we call them in to participate, to apply for it.
Right.
Our criteria is not if your business is not wow, not high tech, you're not doing the next Facebook or the next Google. Don't worry about that. Okay.
Sure.
What we look for is specifically 70% of our filtering criteria is about your character.
Okay.
We feel that we're looking for the right character. So we have our core values, and we look for those in the entrepreneur. So while judging people on the day of the judgment, we look for people we hear closely their stories. We see if the guy had the guts to boldly go, which is our core value. The guy has trust and respect. He treats his employees in a proper way. He believes in teams and that are around him. The guy has a thirst to learn. He wants to learn. He doesn't know it all. He doesn't have the attitude of, I know it all. Okay, I'm here to tell you about my business. No, it's more of an attitude of I'm trying to solve a problem. I'm curious. I'm more interested in my customers and so on. Okay, and the final thing is that we're looking for cool people.
Cool people. Define cool. The way they dress, the way they talk, the slang.
It's about the business, about the spirit.
Okay.
We believe that cool guys manage better businesses.
Okay.
And create better atmospheres, and better atmospheres create better teams.
All right.
We believe in that.
So we talk about like you're like cool, right?
No, not really.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah. So with all that being said, can you give us like examples of who's competing now? Like what's going on?
I have not filtered the applications yet.
Okay.
The applications are still open. I think we have a deadline on the 31st of December.
All right.
We're trying to expose the competition to all the networks that we have. So we approached Temkeen, Injaz, so we approached University of Bahrain. We approached Unipal, the new application.
Okay.
So we're trying to use cool entrepreneurs to approach entrepreneurs. So we're trying. This is our phase for now. So we don't know who's applying now as of now.
So what about last year? Can you tell us about examples or people who participated last year?
Last year was a bit of the corona year in a way. Okay, so we didn't have a lot of applications. I'm going to talk about the years before.
Yeah.
In the years before, we had three successful attempts. So we took Aisha Abdelmalik 3 years back. We took her to Frankfurt.
Right.
Yeah, and I remember meeting Aisha there. There are different campuses.
Yeah.
The interesting about GAC is it's not a competition. It's a competition, but it's more of an experience.
Okay.
So what happens is that the winner of the national winners,
Okay.
they will travel to our main conference.
All right.
And that conference, we call it the Global Learning Conference. It happens in one place every year. This year it's going to be between Dubai and DC,
All right.
because of Corona as well.
Nearby.
And what happens is that they go into three days of workshop.
Okay.
So they mingle, they get to know all the other 60 guys. They see their businesses, they open their mind about their businesses, they open their mind about their culture, they get educated. In the process, they do the pitching for their businesses.
Yes.
And there are winners for that. And there are good prizes for that as well.
Okay.
So I met Aisha, I remember, said, how is it going? So I was excited and mingling with other guys. Said, Safa, they all want to change the world. Okay, except for me, I want to sell gold. Actually, you can change the world by selling gold as well. By selling gold as well. So
gold.
Yeah, gold.
Wow.
Aisha's business is interesting. I think she also won the Bahrain Entrepreneurship Award.
All right.
A few years back. We took Dr. Abdurrahman, I think he's a doctor by now, Abdurrahman Haji, who wasn't able to come here as well, to Toronto, and he had a nice experience as well. We took Sheikh Al-Abbasi, Crown to Sheikh Abbasi. At that time, she competed in Karachi, Pakistan, and also she competed in, I can't remember the country now, in Macau.
Macau,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I wasn't there. They didn't invite me.
It's a beautiful place, by
it's
the way.
I missed that. Yeah. So I think, and our objective is to make sure that every year we book Bahrain seat on this competition. We make sure somebody travels there, goes to the competition itself.
Yes.
Gets that exposure, opens his brain to what's happening around the world itself. Make connections with the rest of the world.
This is exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. Yeah.
Can I join?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I was like, can we just do it? I mean, why didn't we have that back in our time? It's like
depends on your CPR. Huh?
Oh well, it's not a diplomatic one, but well, I'm excited. I'm sure Bahrain's excited about this. So we're gonna participate. Let's see whoever wants to put the application down.
Yeah.
Any last words you want to actually give to our viewers and people want to take part in it?
I think it's deadline is on the 31st.
Okay.
We're waiting for competition.
Yes.
We're preparing the judging panel for that. We are excited about it. Bahrain is lucky for having a seat.
Yes.
And it's an easier competition than the Americans or the Chinese or than the Canadians.
Right.
Okay. So let's capitalize on that as it goes.
True.
And we're excited to hear all those businesses. The experience itself is unique by itself. So let's do it.
I want to take part if I can. Thank you so much, sir, for actually enlightening us on this beautiful opportunity. And thank you so much for being with us here on Bahrain Now.
Thanks, Abra. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, as you heard it, we are lucky to have a place in the competition. Do take part and take an opportunity in this. You might be the next person changing the world with your ideas. Coming up more here on Bahrain Now. Stay tuned. The 8th edition of the Korean Film Festival 2020 Korea Movie Weeks opened its first shows recently at the STC Drive-In Bahrain. More in this following report by Mariam El-Bayati.
This year, we are getting together in a little bit different format. Of course, because of COVID-19. So this year, as you know, the thirsty and taste for culture is insatiable and also never to stop. But we still have to keep our safety measures against COVID-19. So that's why Embassy this year have chosen this remarkable venue of drive-in cinema. I understand this place is the first car theater in the kingdom. So I hoped this year that everybody will enjoy the film festival while we are keep safe and sound. Well, I'm very much appreciated. Even under the corona situations, many people showed a very hard response, and more than about 500 people applied for this event. But I feel sorry, part, because I cannot provide all the tickets to all applicants. But this time, this is very hard and beautiful atmosphere and windy, air. So I hope everybody enjoy it without any concern about the COVID-19 dangers.
The Korean Film Festival starts since 2013, and this year, since the COVID-19, we might have canceled this show, but luckily we have this venue, so this year we just host as a drive-in cinema. So I hope that everybody enjoys this movie and makes more fans for the Korean movies. Actually, Korean Embassy is planning to host as many cultural events as many possible. So I hope the next year, if the COVID-19 situation calms down, then we have host various events that we can show to the very many people.
A fitness event with a twist. AUBH hosts its second ever President's Run, bringing staff and students together in a series of exercises. More this report by Khalid Hijras.
1, 2, 3. The American University of Bahrain is leading by example how you can combine education and recreational activities in order for a more productive environment. Now, the great thing about the President's Run is that it allows the students to run with the president of the university in the spirit of teamwork, academics, and passion.
We promote the extracurricular activities. And sports, first of all, it's healthy. It's something that you can do also during COVID in a very safe way, as we just showed you today. But also, we believe that sports has a lot of lessons that are really helpful and useful in your life, in your job, just with your family, with your relationships. So I think a lot of you know that part of our mission is a holistic experience here at AUBH. And this is what we mean when we talk about that holistic experience. The extracurricular things that we do outside of the classroom. The things that we learned from sports were amazing, and you don't realize all of them until you get a little bit older, this ripe old age, and you realize that this is where you learn things like resilience, planning, strategy, the joy of winning, the disappointment sometimes of not doing as well as you would like.
This is the second President's Run that I've attended, and honestly, I liked and loved this year even more than last year. There's so much more students, so much life on campus, and even though there's COVID-19 happening, we made the best of it. We had laughter, we had joy, and we had, most of all, AUBH spirit, which is the most important aspect of this event.
My favorite part is obviously the run. I myself am an athlete, I'm a runner, so being able to run with my friends, the president herself, was very enjoyable for us.
A couple of months ago, 4 months ago, the student, usually they go to the student common. They go there, they chit-chat, they eat, PlayStation a lot. But what I did, I went there, straightforward, encourage them, motivate them. What's the use of having here, which you have a nice facilities, and they a little timid, afraid to go. But I break the ice. Now look at them now.
It's not so much about the running, it's not so much about how fast or how far, or whether we do it in a relay or everybody runs the entire route. It's really about our planning and coming together as a group. If you noticed, maybe half of the students participated physically in the run, and the other half of the students volunteered and supported the runners along the way. Those folks are just as important in our team as anybody else. So to me, that's what it's really about. It's about the planning, it's about all of us coming together, and I think it's more about the journey than it necessarily is about the outcome.
is our first event during the pandemic, the President's Run, and we're really happy to be here and we've had a lot of fun today.
We ran with our president, and as president, I ran with her, and it's such a great teamwork event and helps us feel more like a family at campus.
This is me. It's not only about work, it's about passion.
So it's really just about the camaraderie, it's about the teamwork. And you know, it comes from part of our mission where we talk about, you know, the holistic experience. It comes from this idea of sound mind, sound body that we have as an ethos. And you know, I really cherish those times, but I also think that they are the reasons that, you know, people have that tremendous strength and fortitude. So I hope that for all of our students, that they learn that over time and they stay with sports and they love it just as much as I do. And I hope that someday one of you is standing up here like I am today, successful in your career, and talking to me about the defining moments that you've had that have made you successful.
So as you can see, this was a very successful President's Run for AUBH. And now the students are cooling down with a very lively soccer game. So this shows you how you can combine both your studies and sports in order to make the most of your university experience. This is Khalid Hidris reporting for Bahrain International.
Thank you so much for watching our episode this evening, and don't forget to follow us on our social media accounts. Till next time, stay safe and bless you.